Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with the Diary of Anne Frank. Chapter 10, The Food Crisis. January 12, 1944. Dear Kitty, it's been 2 weeks since Beth has returned, but her sister won't be allowed to attend school till next week. Beth has 2 days in bed nursing a bad cold herself, and Meep and Jan were down for 2 days as well with upset stomachs. Currently, I'm experiencing a dance and ballet craze and religiously practicing my dance steps every evening. Using Mumsy's lacy lavender slip, I've created an ultra-modern dance costume. I've threaded bias tape through the top and tied it above the bust. The ensemble has been completed by a pink cord ribbon. I failed to transform my tennis shoes into ballet slippers, though. My stiff limbs are about to become as limber as they were. A great exercise is to sit on the floor, put a heel in each hand, and raise both legs in the air. I must sit on a cushion, though, to protect my poor backside. Everyone in the house is reading a book named A Cloudless Morning. Mother thought it was particularly good as it addresses adolescent problems. Why don't you take more interest in your adolescent first? I thought ironically. Maybe Mother believes that Margot and I share a better relationship with our parents than anyone else in the world, and that she is the most dedicated mother. She must be thinking about Margot and her belief, as Margot does not have the problems with Mother as I do. Even if I point out to Mother what I think, it wouldn't help. She would be stunned, and besides, I don't think she can ever change. I'd like to avoid her being pained, as I'm sure nothing will change. I think she is aware that Margot loves her more than I do, but she also thinks I'm going through a phase. Margot's much nicer now and a lot different from earlier. She's becoming a real friend and does not consider me a little kid. Recently, I've developed a liking for family trees as well as the genealogical tables of royal families. I've concluded that as you dig deeper into your past, the discoveries become more and more interesting. Although I ensure that my studies are never neglected, I also follow the BBC Home Service on the radio. I spend most of my Sundays sorting and looking at my movie star collection, which is impressive now. Mr. Kugler increases my happiness by bringing me a copy of the Cinema and Theater magazine every Monday. The less passionate family members term this as a waste of money, but are surprised at the accuracy in which I can list the actors in any movie year after year. Beth goes to the movies with her boyfriend every Saturday on her day off. She tells me the name of the movie she's going to, and I rattle off the names of the actors and actresses as well as reviews. Mom said I wouldn't need to see these movies later, as I know everything by heart already. I can spot the disapproval in their faces whenever I sport a new hairstyle. I'm sure they'll ask me which movie star I'm trying to copy. When I vet my own reply, that's met with skepticism. The hairdo doesn't last for more than half an hour, though. As tired of their remarks, I rush to the bathroom and restore my hair to its original mass of curls. Yours, Anne. March 10th, 1944. Dear Kitty, the proverb misfortune never comes singly holds good for today. Peter just finished saying it. Let me put into writing all the dreadful things that have happened today and still loom over our heads. First, Meep is unwell. She caught a cold in West Kirk, where Hank and Angie's wedding service was held yesterday. Secondly, Mr. Kleiman hasn't joined back to work since his stomach started bleeding. Hence, Beth has to hold the fort all alone. Then the police have arrested a man, I won't put his name in writing, who is supplying us with potato jams and butter. Not only is it terrible for us, but also for him, as he has 5 children with another on the way. We had a scare last night when someone knocked on the wall next door as we were having dinner. We were tense and nervous for the rest of the evening. Recently, I have been in the mood to write down everything happening here because I've been too involved in myself. Don't get me wrong, as though I'm really upset about what happened to my poor Mr. M. But there's little room for him in my diary. Things are getting crazier here with each passing day. I have a tough time pretending everything is normal and acting cheerful when I'm feeling sad. I miss the outdoors the most. Yesterday afternoon, I was feeling so wretched that I lay down on the divan for a nap. I wanted to sleep so I didn't have to think. I slept till 4, but I had to go next door after that. It was difficult answering Mother's questions and explaining my nap to Father. I told him I had a headache, which wasn't exactly a lie, as I had one on the inside. Ordinary girls who are teenagers like myself might think I'm crazy with all my self-pity. But that's the way it is. I pour my heart out to you, but the rest of the time, I'm as cheerful and self-confident as I can avoid these questions, and I've got on my nerves. Margot is very kind and hopes that I can confide in her, but I can't tell her everything. She takes way too seriously and devotes a lot of time thinking about her loony sister. Is she acting or does she really mean it? Margot wonders. That's because we were always together. I don't want the person I confide in me to be around all the time. How will I untangle my mixed up thoughts otherwise? How shall I find inner peace again? Yours, Anne. March 14, 1944. Dear Kitty, you might find it amusing, I don't, what we're going to eat today. As the suppliers providing us with food coupons have been arrested, all we have is our 5 black market ration books. We have no coupons, fats, and oils. Meep and Mr. Clayman are sick again, and Beth can't manage the shopping. The food is awful, and so are we. We won't have a bit of fat, margarine, or butter tomorrow. It's not possible to have fried potatoes for breakfast anymore. We've been doing that to save bread. And so we're having hot cereal instead. We thought some half and half as Mrs. Van D thinks we're starving. Lunch compromises mashed potatoes and pickled kale today. You can't imagine how much kale stinks when it's a few years old. The kitchen smells like a mixture of rotten eggs, brine, and spoiled plums. Ugh. Just the thought of eating that muck makes me want to throw up. Honestly, being in hiding during the 4th year of the war is no joke. It's no picnic either, and I wish this stinking mess was over soon. The food wouldn't have been so unpleasant if life was pleasant here, but this difficult existence has made us all unpleasant. As children aren't allowed to express their opinions, here are the opinions of the 5 grown-ups on the presence of the scenario. For once, I'm following the rules. Mrs. Von Don. I'd have to give up wanting to be queen of the kitchen a long time ago, but as sitting around and doing nothing was boring, I returned to cooking. But I can't help but complain, as it's impossible to cook without oil, and those repulsive smells make me sick. Also, what do I get in return for my efforts? Rude remarks and ungratefulness. I am the black sheep here who gets blamed for everything. I also think this war is making little progress, and that the Germans will emerge victorious in the end. I'm scared we will starve to death, and I snap at everyone in my bad mood. Mr. Von Don. All I do is smoke. The political situation, the carols and mood swings, and the food don't feel so bad then. Curly's a sweetheart, but I get sick if I cannot smoke, and then I feel I need to consume meat. Life becomes unbearable then, and nothing is good enough. There are rows. My Curly's an idiot. Mrs. Frank. Right now, food is not so important, but I'm so hungry I'd love a slice of ripe bread. I'd have stopped Mr. Von Don's smoking a long time ago had I been in Mrs. Von Don's place. But now I long for a cigarette myself as my head's in a twirl. I think the Von Dons are horrible. The war is making progress, although the English are making many mistakes. But I'm grateful I'm not in Poland. Mr. Frank, I'm absolutely fine and I don't need anything. We should stay calm as long as there's plenty of time. I'm silent as long as I have my potatoes. I'm better set aside some of my rations. I'm very optimistic as I think the political situation is improving. Mr. Dussel, I must complete the task I've set out to do, as it's important that everything be finished on time. It's impossible for us to be captured and the political situation is looking good. Me. Yours, Anne. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.